Recording in progress. All right, everybody, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy December 17th. Hopefully, everyone is prepared for the holiday season coming up, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, or if you're an atheist, just happy December. I don't show disrespect for anyone around here. I just hope you're having a great December. Okay. And you're prepared for whatever it is that you're going to celebrate, all those wonderful things. So each year we do this little gathering as kind of like our last real big class uh, for the year, because I know as each day as the year goes on, there's less and less attendance in the classes, and so we tend to not do like our most hard-hitting classes, the week of Christmas and New Year's and things like that. But we get these questions all the time. Hey, what is the company's goals for next year? What are some of the things that are changing? Robert, what do you think is going to happen in the real estate market and all these other different things? And they're all really great questions. So, I put together this slideshow. I talk about it with our team. I said, hey, here's some of the predictions that I'm seeing. Here's some of the things that I'm thinking. What do you think? And we get feedback from our wonderful team and put this all together for you. So I'm going to walk through that step by step. If at any point you have any questions, just unmute yourself. You could put it in the chat box, but because I'll also be doing the slideshow, I might not be totally focused on the chat box. I will get to those questions eventually, but if it's an urgent question you want right now, just unmute yourself. More than happy to stop, or if you want me to go back on a slide or anything along those lines. So these are just kind of what we're going to go through, and hopefully there's some good nuggets in there for you. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. And here we go. All right. So last year, the plan I put together for our real estate division, the motto of the plan was, we're going to build something different. That was the motto of the plan I put together last year. The thought process of that was, we didn't want to be your normal franchise, a Century 21 franchise, Keller Williams, Coldwell, all these other franchises where it's, hey, you just park your license here and all is good. And no, we weren't going to be that. We were going to set minimum standards to stay with the company. We were going to set standards to get an office, keep an office. We were going to set standards for ourselves as a management team, as a production team. Bree was even sharing this morning with our marketing team, because when you use Studio 21 Marketing, they send out a survey afterwards and you can rate them. And, they got a 4.9 out of 5 stars of 900 surveys that they did. So our marketing team is crushing it. So we wanted to set a standard for ourselves. We were going to build something different. Well, we built something different. So now our motto for this year is one team, one mission, real estate excellence. That's our motto for our company going into that. There's a lot of moving parts to the company. You know that. We have, obviously, just from the real estate side, we have, our real estate management team, myself, Eddie, Jackie, Terry. We have the escrow team with Kelly and her team. We have the marketing team, like I said, with Bree and her team. We have all the admin team, and, we have our payroll and finance team. We have a lot of people within the team, and not including, the wonderful, Thompson family that lead the whole charge, and Neil and Patty coaching, and Hunter, and all those great things. But we're all coming together as one team. Despite all the groups, we're coming together as one team. And then you have our affiliated services, lending, property management, title, like I said, escrow, all these other, and we're going to come together with them, right? And it's going to be one team. We have one mission, real estate excellence. We want to be the gold standard, no pun intended, for Century 21 for what a real estate company should look like, certainly within Century 21 and in each of our markets as well. So that is our goal for 2025. So I want to first do a little market analysis recap. So these are through October, right? Through October this year, closings through October. So 2024, this is just our MLS. It's not nationally, it's not state, it's not regionally, just our CRMLS. Closings through October 2024. You obviously see the number. I won't read the numbers because it'll take too long, but we were up 3.6% in closings this year. Price per square foot, you see what 2024 compared to 2023, we're up 5.5%. So price is still going up in most of our markets. Days on market went up from 34 to 29. That's a 17% increase. Everyone noticing days on market going up in a lot of their markets? Yeah, a lot of you seeing that. Yeah, so I mean, you're feeling it, 17.2%. List to sell percentage, meaning what is home selling for compared to the list price. So last year was 0.3% below list price. Now it's 0.9% below list price. So homes are selling slightly below list price compared to this time last year. So it's not certainly not a buyer's market. I don't know if we're ever going to be in a buyer's market again in California, but it is certainly a little bit, a little bit more flexibility for buyers than compared to this time last year with days on market going up. No, this is not exclusively for Masters. This is just the CRMLS. Okay. So CAR, market forecast. What does the California Association of Realtors predict for 2025? So they're predicting a 10.5% increase in closings. They're predicting home prices going up 4.6%. So again, another increase in home prices. Interest rates predicting a 0.7% decrease. Home affordability, they're predicting no change from 2024, which is 16%. And if you don't know what home affordability is, that is the percentage of households that can afford a median priced house. Pretty sad when you think of 16%, but that's life in California. But it's the lowest it's been since they've been recording that. It was the same as last year, but these are the 2 years that have been the lowest in housing affordability. Now, a couple things I want to point out on this. Interest rates. Interest rates are obviously a major talking point going into 2025. Yes? So let me ask you a question. Show of hands or put it in the chat box, whatever you want to do. Who thought interest rates would be lower in 2024 than what they actually did? Okay. 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 Some of you are not raising your hands, which means you're either amazing predictors or liars. Good. Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Always like to know the type of group I'm talking to. Most people went into 2024 thinking interest rates were going to go lower. Not only did they not go lower, they went up, and then they went down, they went up, they went down, and all these other different things. So they now again predicting interest rates going down. I want you to know something about interest rates. Okay. And some of you already know this. Anyone who says they can predict interest rates is a liar. They are the most unpredictable things there are in the world of real estate. That's just the reality. Okay. So, but I did look at other people predicting interest rate drops. I went to Redfin, I went to NAR, I went to all these Zillow, I went to all these different places to see what are you predicting for interest? What are we predicting for interest rates? Nobody is predicting a massive drop in interest rates. Okay. So CAR is predicting a 0.7% decrease. I saw one, I forget which one it was, down to like a 1% decrease, but nobody said, hey, we're going down to the 4s. We're going down to the low 5s. No one's predicting that. So I want you to at least go in with the mentality that we're not jumping into a place where interest rates are going to drop a lot. That's not the prediction. But again, who knows? All right. So that's where we're predicting interest rates to be. Home prices, again, I do think we are going to see a bump for the most part. Some areas are going to hit more than others. And then closings, again, I think that's a pretty fair, accurate 10.5% increase. Now, one thing to note about closings, as we're moving into the first quarter, we just had an election. In 8 of the last 9 elections, the first quarter following the election is better than the first quarter on non-election years in terms of closings. So we should see a spike definitely in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the first quarter of the past 3 years. Because usually post-election, you see more closings the first quarter. Anyone want to guess what tends to lead to more closings in a first quarter post-election?
Increase in interest.
Yeah, usually there's a slight decrease in interest rates because, whoever the new president is wants to get the public on their side. So there probably will be a slight drop in interest rates in January. Why else are there tend to be more closings the first quarter post-election?
Taxes.
Taxes. Yep. Yep. Taxes, certainly. Right. What else?
Everyone breathes a sigh of relief and starts moving.
That's it. That's the other big one, is that doesn't matter what side of the political fence you on, it's over. And so there's always a stalemate during elections where it's like, oh, well, I want to wait to see what happens, which is hilarious because it's like no one ever really makes a decision based on what happens. It's like, I'm thinking about selling, but I want to wait to see what happens. Okay, this person won. How do you feel now? Well, I still hate where I live, so I guess I'll sell. Okay, good. I'm glad we waited. But anyways, it happens every election as there's a waiting. So now those people that were waiting are now ready to move forward. So I want you to start preparing for a lot of rush moving into that first quarter. Some of you have already felt it because, we are today at a higher pendings and listings than we were this time last year. So let me give you an example going into the first quarter, and then we'll go to the next slide. At this time last year, same day, same month last year, our company, just Century 21 Masters, had 141 active pendings. Today we have 243. Last year, same day, same month, we had 240 active listings. Today we have 383. So we are certainly moving into the first quarter of 2025 with that momentum of the first quarter being much stronger. So kind of agree a little bit with what CAR is talking about here. All right, so I'll read through this. This is just a blurb from CAR as to going over their predictions. Housing supply conditions will continue to improve next year, but a moderate increase rather than a surge in active listings should be expected in 2025. Moderate increase rather than a surge. In the next 18 months, interest rates will decline, the lock-in effect will loosen up further, and more properties will be released onto the market. Homeowners who have delayed moving and investors who have been waiting for a market bounce back will put their properties up on the market as they will see the rising trend in home prices as an opportunity to sell. While supply in 2025 will remain below the norm by historical standards, active listings will increase slightly above 10% as market conditions and lending environment continues to improve. So that is a blurb from CAR going over their predictions and why they feel that's what's going to happen. And I tend to agree with a lot of that. All right, so moving on. So some more predictions. So NAR thinks home sales nationally are going to go up 9% in 2025, up 13% in 2026. Milestones. Here's what NAR says is going to happen nationally this year. There's going to be 3.5 million new babies being born, 1.5 million marriages. Obviously, with 1.5 million marriages comes 700,000 divorces, 3.5 million people turning 65, 25 million job changes. What are all those things in the world of real estate? Yeah, I see.
Opportunity.
Opportunities. I see money. I see all these. These are all life-changing events that could lead people to buy or sell real estate. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening just in everyday life that's going to make a big impact, which is why, again, they're predicting more home sales and things along those lines. They also are predicting an increase in all cash buyers. Last year, all cash buyers hit a record of 26% nationally. So you're probably going to see a lot of all cash buyers. The reason they're seeing a lot of all cash buyers is because of the equity people have built up over the years. So the people that are buying replacement properties, 31% of those were all cash. Okay, so it's obviously not a lot of first-time buyers paying all cash. Okay, so it's the people with the equity. All right, so now let's get into the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Yeah, hey, this is what I'm talking about, Robert. This is here. All right. Does everybody know there's some new laws going into effect regarding phone calls and text messages? Okay. If you're not aware, consider yourself now aware. If you didn't know what it was, but you heard about it, here, I'm going to give it to you right now. So we're going to go over this as the rule states, and then I'm going to tell it to you in English. Okay, because sometimes you read these rules and you're like, okay, great. Now someone translate that for me. Telephone Consumer Protection Act is changing the close to lead generator loophole and combat excessive robocalls and text. They're trying to get away from robocalls and text messages, massive text messages. So here's what the rule says. It says written consent is required to contact anyone using regulated technologies or to contact someone on the DNC registry. Do not call. This includes auto dialers, pre-recorded voice messages, artificial calls, AI technologies, and voice cloning. Written consent is required if the number you are calling or texting is on the federal or your brokerage DNC list, an auto dialer or automated platform is used, or an artificial voice or pre-recorded message is used. So here's what this means. Well, I'll read it and then I'll go through in English. Okay. How long is consent good for? So this is important to know. An active business relationship. Consent is good for 18 months if you're actively doing business with the individual, meaning a transaction. So a past client, if you are working with someone, they become a past client, you have consent to market to them through an auto dialer, bulk text, AI, anything like that for 18 months. You have consent if they are a past client. After 18 months, you must get consent from them to continue to market to them if you're going to use any sort of bulk messaging, like bulk text messages, sly broadcasts, auto dialers, anything like that. Okay. But a past client, you have consent for 18 months. Non-business relationship. Written consent is good for 3 months if you're not conducting business with them. So who would be considered a non-business relationship person?
People you don't know that you just put in database.
People you don't know that you put in
Cold
database. Who
call.
else? Cold calls. Yeah. Who else? There's a biggie that this is really, really important for. Active business is someone who's a past client. Who else? Who would be a non-business relationship then? That is probably a very big part of your database. Leads, yes. Who
Online
else?
leads.
Online leads. Your centers of influence who are not, you're not getting business from, but maybe they refer you business. Your friends, family, things like that. Okay, remember, active business relationship is only past clients. You've done a transaction with them. Non-business relationship could be your mother. My mom is in my COI. She's in my database. My mom's not buying or selling a house anytime soon, but I keep her in there in case she refers me anyone. Okay, well, guess what? You need written consent every 3 months from those people if you want to utilize any sort of bulk automated services to market to them. Again, bulk automated services would be auto dialers, bulk text messages, sly broadcasts, or any sort of AI type of technologies. All right. So you would need written consent from anyone who's not a past client every 3 months, which, as David said, could be online leads, cold calls, COI, things like that. Tyrone, go ahead.
Is there a particular number for bulk?
Is there a typical number for what?
Bulk. What's
More than
considered a
one.
bulk?
More than one. More than one. More than one. So what's considered bulk? More than one. So here's what this is. So I had a meeting Friday with Steve Cortez and Ren Jones from Arch Agent and Vulcan 7. They're two of the bigger dialer companies who also provide phone numbers and things along those lines to go over all them with. And the way that they had an attorney explain it to them was, let's say that if I'm just texting Tyrone, we're good. If I'm just calling Tyrone, that's no problem. I've got my cell phone out. I'm texting Tyrone 1213. I don't know the rest of your number, right? Or I'm calling Tyrone 1213, whatever. We're all good. But let's say, and I don't, because these people are right in the middle of my screen. Let's say I want to send a message that says happy holidays to Tyrone, Dulce, Vet, and David. That's bulk. So if I send that out, and then that would be considered part of this. Hey, I need consent to do that because I'm sending a bulk happy holiday text message out. Or I want to put all my database in a dialer to just dial all of them to tell them happy holiday so I don't have to hand dial. Well, I can't do that unless I have consent. Okay. So if I'm just, and that's why it says here, existing database, you can call your existing database if they're not on the DNC registry and you're not using regulated technologies. So if you don't use auto dialers, then you're okay. If you don't send out bulk text messages, you're okay, right? If you don't use sly broadcast for voicemails, you're okay. If you don't use AI to make any phone calls, you're okay. This doesn't apply to you. But if you're someone that uses a dialer, this could apply to you. If you send out bulk text messages, like right now, you might be sending out bulk text messages, people saying happy holidays, this will apply to you. If you do slide broadcast, for those of you who don't know what slide broadcast is when you can just, you leave a voicemail on people's phones. You can just make a pre-recorded voicemail, and if you put it in your dialer system and it sends everyone, it goes essentially just goes to everyone straight to their voicemail. Okay. Then this would apply to you. How about follow-up boss dialer followed by our text? Yeah, they follow the same rules. Okay. So again, manual calls, if you're manually picking up the phone and dialing the number, you're good. This is only if you're using regulated technologies. All right. So
So does that
So-
apply if I'm using a regulated technology, but I'm only doing a single line dialer, is that considered?
great question, Dulce. We're going to get there.
Okay.
Robert,
All
what
right.
about emails?
Bulk emails.
About what?
Go ahead.
Bulk emails.
This doesn't include emails. This is only text and phone calls. All right. So starting January 1st, there's a $500 fine per violation. So this is how it was expressed to me, because I said, is it $500 per circumstance or $500 like actually per number? Meaning that if I'm dialing and I use pre-recorded voicemails and I leave 200 pre-recorded voicemails on one dialing session, do I just say, hey, that was a bad dialing session, my fault, it's $500? Or is it $500 times 200? They said, if you get reported, it could be $500 times 200. Okay. So that's it. Now, the question always comes up then, well, who's going to report you? I don't know who's going to report you, but according to this, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act lawsuits are up 40% already in 2024, highlighting the increase in enforcement of these regulations. So somebody would have to report you, okay, that you are sending messages, you're marketing to them without their consent. Somebody would have to report you. I don't know who would report you, but these violations are up 40% in 2024. So consumers are being a little bit more aware of that going on. So then it comes, so David says, can you get written consent for more than 3 months? No. No. So if you went to your, great question, if you went to you went to your COI and said, hey, do you mind if I keep marketing to you for the next year? No, it's only for 3 months. Now, that's the rule. Now, if they try to come back at you and say, oh, I never gave them consent, then you at least have something on paper to fight it. But the rule is, no matter what you try to get in writing, you have to get a re-consent every 3 months, because their thought process is maybe after 3 months, they're tired of the mass marketing they're getting from you. Okay. So that's kind of how that goes.
Is that also for past clients, Robert?
So past clients, you get 18 months from the time it closed. So for past clients, you have 18 months consent where you can market to them via auto dialers, AI, bulk text messages. You can do whatever you want for 18 months with past clients. After 18 months, you have to get their consent, and then they follow into that. I need consent every 3 months to do auto dialers, bulk text, things like that. I can always just do single text message, single calls to anybody. Okay, this is only if I'm doing bulk stuff like auto dialers, bulk text messages. So in English, can you still get phone numbers from Tidal or other services? Yes. Can you still use a dialer? Yes. Single line only. So if you're using a dialer, it has to be single line only. You cannot use multi-line dialers. Okay. All right. No pre-recorded voicemail. So Vulcan 7 and Arch are actually going to take that out of their system. You're not even going to have the option to do pre-recorded voicemails, but I know things like Mojo and some other services have them, so I don't know what they're going to do. You can't have pre-recorded voicemails. Must be a live person calling. No more AI calls. Does anyone here get calls from AI? Okay. It's pretty cool, right? Well, guess what? If you're doing bulk calls, you can't do AI unless you have consent from someone to be a part of that marketing. So if I have a listing, for example, and I go to Tidal or any other source and say, hey, I want 200 phone numbers around my listing. Okay. None of those people have given me consent. So if I say, I'm going to put these numbers in a dialer, I'm going to have this AI system call people just to see if anyone's interested and maybe I can get some leads. Nope, can't do that. Must be a live person calling.
So
And then
Robert,
ahead.
so if I'm calling directly, just dialing, can I call those people around even though I
Sure.
don't have
Yeah.
consent? Got
If
it.
you're just dialing them numbers one by one.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Mhm. This is only if you're using an auto dialer. And if you're using an auto dialer, a live person must be ending the call. Meaning that some of the dialer systems have it where you can set it up where after it rings 3 times, it automatically hangs up. No. You have to be the one that ends call, whatever the case may be. Bulk text messages must have a stop option. So I'm sure you've seen it before where you get a text message and it says reply stop to, opt out or whatever. If you're doing a bulk text message, you must have a stop option. You must follow the consent guidelines. Now, online leads, make sure you check with the online lead company about their consent terms. This is a biggie because we all get online leads. Okay. So if you're getting leads from Zillow, Redfin, OpCity, Prime Street, whoever, make sure you're checking with them on, hey, what are the consent terms of the leads you're giving me? So that way I know what I need to do. Don't just assume that, well, I got this lead from an online source, which means they've given me consent to do whatever I want. Maybe, maybe not. So make sure you check with them. We're going to do some due diligence on that as well, but make sure you're checking with them on their consent terms, because it's possible that the lead company might just say, nope, this person filled out some information, but we don't have any consent terms. We're just handing you the lead. It's up to you to follow the rules from there. So make sure you're doing that. All right. So I'll go over more detail on this. I'll send out a cheat sheet. We'll do some more. I don't want to spend more time on this because it'll take up another 45 minutes. I just wanted to at least give you kind of the breakdown of what's happening here. We'll send out some more communication on this, and maybe I'll have another class later in the week just on this particular topic so we're more clear. But again, if you're not using auto dialers, if you're not doing bulk text messages, if you're not doing AI calls or slide broadcasts, none of this applies. Okay, you can always still dial whoever you want as long as they're not on the do not call list, straight from your cell phone. You can text, one-on-one, all those things. But if you're doing stuff in bulk like auto dialers, you have to follow these consent rules and things along those lines. So again, we'll send out a cheat sheet and have more information on that. But I know there's more questions on it, but I'm going to pause here because there's just more stuff I want to go over. Okay, so SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. This is what we see as our SWOT analysis going into 2025. Strengths, more agents leaving the business, so less competition. Oh, wait, did I feel like I missed a slide here? No, anyways, more agents leaving the business, so less competition. So does anyone know, according to NAR, what percentage of real estate agents will not be in business in 2 years?
35.
I think that's probably fair. The number is 27. So NAR did a survey. The question was pretty simple. Are you going to be in real estate in 2 years? Not 5 years, not 10 years, 2 years. Are you going to be in real estate? 27% said no. That is a lot of people. Okay. So, we have between the conference rooms and other things, we probably have 150 or so people on that. Okay. So imagine out of the 150 that are on this call, 40 of you were gone. That's essentially what 27% would represent. Okay. As a lot of real estate agents. And if 27% don't think they're going to be in real estate in 2 years, they're not in real estate today. It's not like they're going to give it a go for 2 years and then just call it a day. They're done. A lot of agents leaving the business. On top of that, they said that 50 to 60% more agents will be part-time, meaning the majority of real estate agents will technically be part-time. I already know that, but it's going to be that even more. So there's a lot of agents leaving the business. So you will have less competition. Prices rising, leading to higher commissions. That's great. Interest rates dropping. That's a strength. Homeowner desirability remains high. So even though homeowner affordability is low, desirability still remains really high and positive in our nation. Weaknesses, affordability low compared to years past. It's obviously a problem we have to overcome. Residential inventory remains low compared to years past. The commercial market's a disaster. Rents not increasing as much, slowing down the investor market. Okay, those are some of our weaknesses. All right, opportunities.
Robert,
Yeah.
quick question. Is this the first time NAR has done a survey like this, asking agents, or was this done before and they're looking back and trying to see how this number compares to before?
What I had read, I didn't read that this is the first time they did it, but they did say that the number was, I forget the way they put it, but it was much higher than any other survey they'd ever done.
Okay.
So they've never seen this many agents essentially say, we're not going to come back.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was through previous surveys or whatnot. Good
Okay.
question.
Thanks.
Opportunities. Here's where we see some opportunities. California is a stronger market than most of the country. And that's every year because, CAR is predicting a price increase in California. There are some states where they're predicting a price decrease and things like that. So California still remains a stronger market. So here's what's interesting. People want to move back to the city. So during COVID, a lot of people had the opportunity to work remotely, right?
Yes.
Well, during those years, you saw a lot of people move out of the city centers into suburbs that were more affordable because they could work remotely. Well, in 2024, nationally, they saw the biggest uptick in people moving to city centers in more than a decade. Which means that all the people that moved away from city centers into suburban, like further suburban areas that might be more affordable, are now moving back because more companies are requiring some sort of in-office presence. It might not be fully in office, but more in office, and people don't want to commute. So you will have an opportunity to maybe go back to some of those past clients from 2020, 21, 22 that moved away from maybe where their jobs were to make being something more affordable. Those might be people looking to sell and move back closer to work because you are seeing a lot of people move back to where the jobs are at. The biggest uptick in more than a decade. So there's an opportunity there. We knew double ending transactions were going to increase with the new rules that went into place. Those have increased. So listings are good. As we mentioned, a bunch of agents leaving. So there are databases and farms up for grabs. Folks, what is the number one source of business? What is your number one source of business? Aaron Lanning, don't answer.
Database.
Database. Database, right? Right? That is your number one source of business. Well, guess what? 27% of agents are leaving the business. That's a lot of databases up for grabs. A lot of people who say, oh, I know a real estate agent. They might not be very good, but I know one. Not anymore, you don't. They're gone. Okay? Those are up for grabs. Farms are up for grabs. Because not all the agents leaving are people that just did zero. Some of the agents leaving are agents that are just like, I just don't want to go through this again. I don't want to go through more changes. I don't want to do this again. There's databases and farms up for grabs. Go build your database. So write this down for 2025. Build my database. Build my database. If that's your number one source, build it. Build it. Go get it. Because remember this. Think about, okay, online leads are a massive part of real estate. Yes or no? I mean, massive, massive part of real estate. Well, what is an online lead? An online lead is somebody in your neighborhood that's thinking about buying or selling a house, but instead of calling a real estate agent that they know or trust, they go online. They go to Zillow and say, home evaluation. They go to Redfin and say, yeah, I'm interested in a house. They go to century21.com and request this information. That's what an online lead is. It's people that don't have a trusted real estate agent to call. And yet it's a massive industry, which means all these online leads are people that are not in someone's databases. Real estate agents could end the online lead business if they simply got everyone in neighborhoods to be in their database for home evaluation. So tons of databases up for grabs. All right, good stuff. All right, now some threats. Home buyers concerned about homeowners insurance issue. People running into this. Homeowners insurance concerns, costs, things like that. Obviously a big thing. So in January, I don't have the exact date yet, but in January, we are going to have a guy from Turbo Insurance. What's things out with issues and so we are going to
Rob,
talk
are you
to us
cutting off?
about that. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure what I wanted to say, but but we are going to have somebody from Turbo Insurance come in January to talk about that. Buyer commissions are decreasing. We knew that was going to happen. They're not decreasing. The number of people moving to California is slowing. There's not a mass exodus of people leaving California. There's just the growth rate is slowing. Okay. So let me go back here. Okay. The growth rate is slowing. So instead of the growth rate going 5 or 6%, it might be going 0.1%. So that is slowing and difficult to remove tenants. Obviously, we know there's an issue with tenants. Okay. So that is one of the issues we have. So those are some of the threats. All right, moving on. So let's talk about this. What is our big goal for 2025? Gross commission income. So our agents in 2024 made $29 million in commission. Woo! Way to go, team. Our company goal is to help you get to 33 million. Okay, so we want to help our agents increase their commission total by $4 million. That's a lot of dough. This is with our current portfolio. This is not including mergers and acquisitions. Okay, we want to add $4 million to our agents' pockets. That is our company goal. That is our lifeblood. That is everything that we're going to focus on for 2025 is getting you $4 million more dollars. All right, so how are we going to do that? So a couple things to go over here. Training. Here's some updates to where you're going to expect training every month. You're going to have a monthly ChatGPT AI class. You already get that. If you're not attending that ChatGPT AI class with Troy, you're missing out. Some great stuff in there. Hunter is going to be doing weekly follow-up boss / YLOPO training, how to really master your database and get the most out of that. Our marketing team, Bree and her team, they're going to start doing 3 training classes a month. Okay, helping you with training, marketing, social media, all kinds of different things, really getting hands-on with you. We're going to have 1 agent-led training class per month, 1 outside speaker per month. For loan officers, we got to make sure our loan officers understand most of the training classes are valuable for them, not just real estate agents. And we're also going to do more surveys, send surveys each quarter out to agents to get an idea of what kind of trainings that you want. So we're going to bulk up even more training classes. That does, and then you'll still get myself, Terry, Neil, all of our normal stuff. You'll still get those as well. So we're going to really get you some more exciting training classes going. Group training. So I've never done this. Well, I mean, I've done this thing before, but I've never offered it to the whole company. I'm going to do quarterly group training classes based on your production. So if you're on pace for 0 to 3 closings, I'm going to do a quarterly class on how to get you to 10. If you're on pace for 4 to 8, we're going to do a class on how to get to 15, obviously down and down the list. So I'm going to start doing quarterly group training classes based on your production to get you to the next level. Okay, wherever that may be. So you can start counting on those as well. So we don't just do everyone as a whole. Our ISA department, Hunter's department. First of all, Hunter's department, our ISA department blew it out of the water this year. Hunter, you're the man. Woo! Hunter, all right. So what are we going to do with our ISA department? Some of you are not going to like this, but that's okay. Monthly review of our ISA leads to ensure leads are being followed up on. So here, now this has already been implemented, but I'll just let you know again. If a lead has not been contacted in 90 days via phone, text, or email, the lead will be reassigned without notice. So if you get a lead from Hunter or his team, every 90 days, at least that lead should be getting a phone call, a text, or at least an email, some sort of touch from you. If we see that lead hasn't gotten anything from you in 90 days, we're just going to move that lead to somebody else. Okay. Here's why. This is really important about online leads or ISA leads. This is something you need to know. I learned this from Greg Harrelson. Does anyone know what the average conversion rate is of online leads?
Less than 1%.
Yeah, what I read was it was like 1.7% was the conversion rate of online leads. Does anyone want to know why the conversion rate is so low?
There's no follow-up?
Yeah, no one calls them. Not enough touches. So Greg Harrelson did some research. Okay. If you don't know who Greg Harrelson is, he's a phenomenal guy in South Carolina. He did some research. Most online leads that people get are not people that are ready to buy or sell right now. they're usually in the information stage, which means most online leads take roughly 12 to 18 months to turn into a commission check. Okay. That's the conversion rate for online leads, which means that if you, so what Hunter and I did at the beginning of the year is we revamped this ISA thing and we went with that theory. The conversion rate, when you think about it that way, from an online lead to actually get a deal out of them, is really actually 10 to 12%. You should be getting a 10 to 12% conversion rate if you treat it as a lead that is going to close in the next 12 to 18 months. But that only works if you're continuously following up with them. It doesn't have to be a phone call every month, but at least an email, something. Okay, so if you're working online leads and you're not getting the results you want, 1%, 3%, no, it's because you're thinking that they're going to buy or sell right now. It's 12 to 18 months on average. Okay, you might get some that want to do something right now, but that's not it. You've got to stay in touch with them. Our conversion rate's 10% on our leads because that's how the way we work things. So think about that. Quarterly office tour. So each quarter, we're going to set up an office tour to do one-on-one meetings with agents to check in on their goals. Usually we do that once or twice a year. We're now going to do that every quarter, and we're going to do more contests every quarter, like point systems, like we're doing with Play to the Whistle and things like that. So you can expect more of those. Continuing on, agent pathways. So I'm in the process of building this out with our team. We've always built out this, hey, well, Mike Ferry says this is how you get deals and so on and so forth. So I'm building out 4 step-by-step guides for agents on how to get to 25 transactions. One of those guides is going to be, Robert, I don't want to talk to anyone but my database. Great. I'm putting together a step-by-step guide on how to get 25 transactions from database only. Some of you are like, hey, I'm Mike Ferry style. I want to get 25 more transactions. I'm building out a step-by-step guide on how to get 25 transactions doing that. Some of you don't like aggressive. You want to be passive, open houses, farming, social media, putting together a step-by-step guide on how to get 25 transactions doing that. Some of you want to do online leads. So you can expect probably sometime in January for us to unleash these 4 step-by-step guides on how to get to 25 transactions using those 4 systems. And then you can mix and match whatever you want, but we're going to actually put those together. So for those of you that are thinking, I want to get to this, I just don't have the system, I'm putting it together. Okay, so you're going to have that all laid out step by step for you. We already do quarterly lunches for our top producers, top 5. We're going to do those. I need to get more agents active on Telegram. I think that will help our production, just getting more camaraderie. So if you're not on Telegram, get on Telegram, post every so often, get engaged with your agents, and get more agents on referral only and get their databases. So here's what that means. We have a thing called referral only. So for agents that don't want to pay board dues, don't want to pay MLS fees, they can go on a thing called referral only. It means you can't sell, can't actively sell. So we have a bunch of agents that are on referral only. We have never received a referral from any of those people, ever. So I'm changing the policy. I'm going to reach out to all those agents and say, you can no longer be in our referral only program unless you give us your database so we can market to your database and get leads. So I'm hoping that we get some of those agents to give us their database so Hunter and his team can work those and we can pass more leads out to our agents. Okay, thus leading to more closing. So that's another thing we're going to be working on. Okay. Admin calls. You can expect a call from one of our admin each quarter asking you, what we can help you out with. Non-producers. So we're going to do a monthly review to see who has not closed a deal in 9 months and advise them about our minimum production standard. We're going to remove 12 month zero producers every month. We have a minimum standard of the company. You got to do at least 1 transaction a year. I don't think that's asking a lot. Okay. But we're going to do a rolling 12 months. And if you've been with the company 12 months in a row without a closing, we're just going to move you out, or you can be going our referral only system. We're not going to have 0 producers here. That's not going to be the case. That's not the deal. I want it to be where if you're talking to somebody in the office and somebody's coming to you asking for advice, you're okay giving them advice because it's somebody that's doing something. That's just the deal. That's the way we're going to roll. Okay. Find opportunities of agents that are slowing down their business and getting them a partner. We did that. God damn it, Robert. We did that with a few other agents this year. Okay. All right. And then get more agents to partner with higher producing agents on leads so they have a better chance of getting it closed. So here's what I mean by that. Some of you are, I'm not trying to be mean. Some of you are good at getting leads, but don't do like getting leads to closed. But you refuse to partner agents to help you get a deal closed because you don't want to give up 50%. So instead you get 100% of zero, which is exciting. So what I'm really trying to build within the company is not teams, but just like groups where it's like, hey, I have a lead. I'm going to bring this lead to this person. They're going to help me close it. I mean, it's a great point that it brings up. Don't take that for granted. Okay. I'm going to bring this to these agents and they're going to help me get it closed. I'm really trying to build that because some of you can use that. All right. All right. A couple other things we're going to go through here. Price points. Increase our luxury division or push our luxury division. Some of you have done a tremendous job of increasing your price points this year. It's one of the fastest ways to increase your income is increase price points. So here's a challenge for all of you. Find out what the average price point is in the city that you work, and then find out what your average price point is. Is it even below or higher? Every single person in here should have a higher price point in the area that they work. If you're not, then you've got to work on increasing your price point. We have a luxury division. We built this amazing luxury division. This was a passion of mine because everybody thinks, oh, Century 21 Masters can't do luxury or Century 21 can't do luxury. And then Meg Middleman just does like a bunch of $2 million deals. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Got it. But yeah, Century 21 can't do it. But we built this luxury division. Bree and her team built out this wonderful package for you to go out into these luxury markets. And because of that, this year, we took an $8 million listing, a $7 million listing. We took 2 $6 million listings. We took 5 or 6 $3 million listings. Don't tell me we can't do luxury. Get with our team, have them put together a luxury package for you. All right. Another way we're going to increase commission, increase referral fees to 30 to 35%. When you refer a deal out to an agent, what is typically the standard referral fee? What's typically the standard referral fee?
25.
30.
25%. Stop asking for 25. Get 30 to 35. Get more money. Because think about this. Almost every single agent gets some sort of referral leads from Redfin, Zillow, or some sort of online company. What's the typical referral fee you have to pay to those companies?
I think 30.
35,
35.
45. So agents are okay paying 35, 40, 45% referral fees for deals. Why are you only doing it 25 when you're probably giving them a better deal? Ask for 30, 35% on your referral fees. Okay. And if an agent says that's too high, you call me, I'll find you another agent. I got no problem. Okay. But you should be getting more money on your referral fees because they're taking 30, 35, 40% referral fees from everywhere else. Don't discount yourself. Real satisfied. We got to get our real satisfied completion rate up to 60%. Okay. So if you're not using real satisfied, good Lord, people, it's the greatest thing. Because when you close a transaction, they send out a survey and a client can leave you a testimonial. And I don't know if you know this or not, but you can have those testimonials from Real Satisfied. Those will automatically go on your Century 21 profile, but they can automatically be syndicated to Google Business, your Google Business page, your Zillow account, and your Facebook business page. Automatically, 4 places that testimonial will go, just that one testimonial. So it makes 0 sense for you not to have your clients complete the Real Satisfied survey and testimonial. Makes 0 sense when it can automatically go to 4 locations. So if you don't know what that is, get with our admin team, send an email to admin@century21masters.com. Jesse's going to, he's not going to like the fact. I hope that all of you email him just so he can be mad at me, right? And say, hey, look, how do I get my Real Satisfied syndicated to all these accounts? And get that instead of pushing Zillow and Redfin and Google and all this, just push Real Satisfied and it gets to all those done. Boom. But here's the other reason. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a personal reason why I want to get to at least 60% completion rate. Century 21 has an award called the Art Bartlett Award. Okay. It's the highest honor a company can get. It's the highest award a company can get. Last year, we qualified. There's like 12 criteria that a company has to hit. Okay, they're really hard. We qualified for 11 out of the 12. The only one we didn't qualify for is we didn't have enough real satisfied surveys completed. And if we had had that, we'd have won the Art Bartlett Award. I want that award. So even if you don't do it for you, do it for me. Okay, I want that award. All right, a couple other things we're going to do for you. We're going to create connections with agents in landlord-friendly states and marketing to provide to California investors. So we know California, there's a lot of investors getting out of California because it's just very difficult for landlords, okay? So some of the most popular landlord-friendly states for real estate investors right now are Texas, Alabama, Florida, Colorado, Georgia, Arizona, Indiana. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create connections with agents out there. I've already done this with a few of them, and I'm going to have them on a monthly or bi-monthly basis send me a list of all their investor properties that are for sale that you can then push out to your investors to see if they might want to buy something in a more landlord-friendly state. Okay, so that's just another touching piece that you can get with your investors who might want to sell here and buy out there. So we're going to work on that for you as well. And then we're also going to create bi-monthly marketing to investors on our cash only deal. So if you have a listing that's like a cash only type deal, we'll gather that every 2 months and we'll send an email out to a bunch of investors from our list to see if we can get your place some exposure. Good stuff. All right. So that's all the stuff we're going to do to help you get to $33 million in commission, which is quite a lot of stuff. Okay. And then I'm just going to run through this and then I'll open it up for Q&A. Our management team, obviously, you know, Randy's the broker, just in case. I mean, you should know this stuff. And you got the great Linda Thompson, Keith Thompson, Matt Thompson, and so on and so forth down the list, myself and everyone else. Hey, who's marking on my thing? All right, good stuff. And then on down the road. So, hey, man. Questions, thoughts on what we went over today on the predictions, things along those lines as we move into 2025.
Robert,
Yeah.
this is Arturo. Regarding the real satisfied, I use close a deal, but it was with a previous company. Can we post it on the company, the review?
Looks like Robert keep freezing.
Oops.
Sleeping.
I don't know.
Ralphie's
Probably
really good at staying
there he
still.
is. It was such a good question. I had to think about it. No, I don't know the answer to that question, but I can find out.
Okay.
So as you're thinking about some other questions, what I want to other things I want to go up here on this is from an agent standpoint, what you need to focus on going into 2025 is one, your database. Your database is your biggest source of business. Okay. You got to keep working that database. Stop telling yourself that I don't want to bombard them. I don't want to beg them for business. I have yet to see a script asking you to beg for business. I've yet to see it. Okay. We practice a lot of scripts. We write a lot of scripts, and I have never written a script, and Neil has never written a script that says, please, 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 please give me a lead. Never seen that script. Okay. So stop pretending you're begging for business. 2, move on from leads faster. If they don't want to play, move on. If they want to play, let's get them in a game. Okay. Number 3, you have to be the positive energy force in people's lives. We live in a nasty community. Negativity about real estate, negativity about everything and anything. You've got to be the one that's really excited and energetic for them. Okay? You've just got to do that. Those 3 things you've really got to master in 2025. All right. Other questions, thoughts, concerns about what we went over? No, that's it.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The Real Satisfied, I'm not sure because we have our own Zoom reviews, Zillow reviews. So I don't know how Real Satisfied will actually even insert in the Zillow review.
So when
Where
you go
is
to
that?
Real Satisfied through 21 Online, you go to your Real Satisfied account, it's going to ask you to put in your Zillow credentials. You put that in there and it automatically will filter to your Zillow reviews.
Okay, great.
Yep. Same thing with Google and your Facebook, if you have a Facebook business page. Yep.
Will it do that retroactively? I have a lot of Real Satisfied reviews, but I want to.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll find out. The 4 syndications for Real Satisfied are century21.com. So if somebody goes to century21.com and looks you up, it'll show how many reviews you have. Zillow, your Zillow page, your Google business page, and your Facebook business page.
And Realtor.com.
In realtor.com. So there you go. So though it'll get syndicated, but you have to go to 21 Online, go to your Real Satisfied page and have those set up. And I mean, if you don't want them set up, you don't have to have them set up, but it just makes it easier to have one review done that gets sent out everywhere instead of because here's what I get. Well, Robert, I want to still really work on my reviews. Should I focus on Google, Zillow, Century? What should I do? Well, just do Real Satisfied and get them all. All right. Other questions, thoughts, concerns, anything else I can help about the company, the market, what we're doing moving into 2025? Yelp, no, it doesn't go to Yelp. But I'm sure they're working on that. I will tell you this about Century 21. They hired a new marketing person, and I don't know if you've seen some of the new marketing ads they're doing. Their new marketing person is really great. It's not like old school Century 21 stuff. Like she's badass. So I'm excited to see more of the stuff that she's going to put together. You know, Mike Meadler's obviously great, but yeah, I'm really excited for what she's going to put together. Do we have a permission template for COI? There is no permission template. I asked that same question. Like, is there a specific form that they have to fill out? Essentially, you just need some sort of written consent is what they told me. So we could put something together, but you could just get a text message or an email says, you know, hey, Mr. and Mrs. X, you know, do you mind if I, you know, keep using my automated services to market to you for updates? And they just reply, yes. Right? So I asked that question, is there a specific form? They said no. They said, we suggest people just send them a text or an email because if you have them fill out a form, it's an extra thing that they have to do. So what their recommendation was just to get an email or a text from them. Is what I was told. But I mean, we could put together a form. Good stuff. All right. As you're thinking of any other questions, I will tell you this as well. You know, I know that sometimes, you know, I travel a lot. I'm on the move a lot. That doesn't mean you can't call me. Okay. It doesn't mean you can't call me. Doesn't mean I can't help. You know, Matt, Keith, you know, Randy, Linda, you know, they're on the move a lot. Doesn't mean you can't call them. You know, Eddie, Terry, you know, we're all busy. And I'll tell you this, one of the things where I failed this year, and it annoys me because it's something that annoys me. But clearly I failed at this because I hear this a lot is I didn't want to bother you. I know you're busy. That drives me freaking nuts. Okay. Because I'm busy, but it doesn't mean I can't help you. Okay. It just might mean, hey, I'm in a meeting or I don't want to answer this while I'm driving, but I'll get back to you. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. But I clearly failed at that because I heard that a lot this year. I know you're busy. Yeah, they're trying to find real estate agents. So what I'm usually busy doing is calling and helping you build your business. Okay. So I want to keep doing that. So don't be afraid to reach out to me. All right. Other questions? Can we upload our Google testimonials to century21.com ourselves? No, I don't think so. I think it has to only go through Real Satisfied, but good questions. These are all questions that I will not find out, but Jesse will. Someone just has to tell him. I'll tell him. All right. Other questions? Anything else I can help out with the company, market predictions, thoughts, anything else along those lines? All right. All right. Well, go
Thank
ahead.
you.
You mentioned that I think monthly or something about it, you will keep take off the agents that there has no production. So that means
If you
Let's
haven't
say-
done a deal in 12 months,
in 12 months. And after 12 months, if we haven't make any deals, we are out of the company.
that is our policy that if you go 12 months without doing one deal, then yeah, either A, you'd either have to find a team to join, B, go on referral only, or C, move your license to another company. We don't want agents that go 12 months without a deal. And here, and I want you, and again, I want everyone to understand why. Not only is it I want our agents and our offices to know that who they're working with is someone that's going to do some stuff. But I got to tell you something, man, we go all in. Well, I'm not good at like 99.9% of life. Okay. And there's a lot of people that can verify that. Okay. But the one thing that I do every single day, and a lot of people can attest to this, is I bring it every freaking day. Every day, I'm high energy, high octane. Let's freaking go. I want to win. Okay. And we have a great support staff that gets cards and does marketing and gets onboardings and tries to call people for meetings and puts all this effort and energy into agents. And we don't want to do that for people that won't do a deal in 12 months, because just through osmosis of being around us, you should do one deal, right? It's just a lot of effort that puts into that. So, there's just part of that is part of the deal. But if agents are running into something, look, man, I'm going through some health things. I'm going through some personal things. Like, we're not monsters. If you got some stuff going on in life, we're not going to cut people like that. But, I mean, I'll give you an example. We're probably going to cut 100 agents in January. Okay. For that policy. And I don't want to cut 100 agents at a time. That's why we're going to do this monthly instead of at the end of the year. It's too much. But here's the funny part. Out of the 100 agents we're going to cut, I don't even know who 70 of them are. Do you know how hard that is for me to not know who you are with as much as I am involved with everything in the company? How many classes I do, how many connects, how many times I go to the different offices, for me to not even know who you are, that's hard. And so it's like, for somebody like that is like, man, like, see you later. But we do have an agent that didn't do a deal, that just is going through some health issues. And we're like, we're not going to cut you, but that's why we do that stuff. You should do a deal every 12 months with what we're doing. Something. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Other questions? Other questions or anything else you want to go over about this stuff? Market stuff, company stuff. All right. Well, look, I'm around, but while I have everybody here, I want to thank all of you.
Robert,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's me again. I require some flyers design, and they did a great design. Does the company print it, or we have to find out where to print them?
You can use the company printers to print. I mean, unless it's like a postcard, then we don't have postcard printing. But I mean, whatever printer is in your office, you can use them. They should be color printers. Although
Okay.
I have been fooled on that before. But yeah, we don't have like a print shop like postcard
Oh.
printing or anything like that. No. Yeah, you'd have to go outside for that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. I want to thank all of you. It's a tremendous 2024 because I don't know how many, like I'm going to be out next week. I'll be back the week after that, but I don't know what everyone's schedule is the rest of the year. We had a tremendous year this year. You know, the market didn't rebound the way we thought, but we appreciate all the work that all of you put in. Some of you put in some really amazing numbers. Some of you had great bounce back years. Some of you had great fourth quarters. And I know that what we do as a company, I know it's a lot. I know I'm a lot to deal with. I am well aware. Okay. Because you get a voicemail from me in your email at 7 a.m. every freaking day telling you to get up and get excited and get that bounce in your step. And I'm here every freaking day. And I'm not the fun guy. I'm not. And I'm never going to be. God bless Jackie. Every time you see somebody like Jackie, hug her and just say, Jackie, thank you. Okay. Because, you know, we need fun. We need balance in the company. And I'm just not that guy. But, you know, and we're a lot and we're loud and a lot of times we're obnoxious and things like that. But you put up with us and we appreciate that. So it doesn't go unnoticed. So we thank all of you for all your hard work. And I'm not going to stop being that way. So if you were hoping that there was going to be some sort of resolution in 2025 that I was going to calm down, that's not going to happen because all I think about every day is winning. That's it. That's it. That's all my mind goes to. But I appreciate all of you. It was a great year. I hope everyone has an absolute wonderful holiday season, whatever it is that you're celebrating, because you deserve it and your families deserve it and all of your loved ones deserve it. And if there's anything I can help out with between now and the end of the year, feel free to reach out to me. But if not, have a great, great holiday season. And I really appreciate every single one of you. And 2025 is going to be, man, it's gonna be something. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Thank you, Robert. Feliz Navidad.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.